Hey guys. All right, so a little bit of an impromptu live. Hopefully my internet will hold up. Sometimes it's not amazing up here, and you guys don't usually get to see me with my glasses on. So I'm gonna take those off until we start seeing some comments come through. All right, so let's talk about why I'm going live today. Number one, you guys were kind of expecting a video from me today about how I organize my edits. So that was going to be my first or my final video in my How to Edit Your Novel series was um, how I organize my edits. And this video is partially recorded and it's a lot of little pieces because I'm showing you like screen shares and some of my own like top-down editing stuff. And so that was the plan. Hey, I'm so glad some people are showing up. So that was the plan today, was to do the how to edit your novel final thing. Hey Claire, I'm glad to see you here. Hey Jessica. So that was the plan. But we're going to talk very briefly about why I'm not putting up that video today. And we're going to talk just a little bit about my productivity journey. So, okay, hey guys, hey Raymond, hey Sarah, Pamela, it's good to see you guys. Oh, it's good to see you too. It's good to see names that I've been seeing for a while and a few new names. So thank you guys so much for popping in. What we're going to talk about, hey Cameron, there's one of my good sprinting buddies. So first of all, if you guys have not joined my Word Sprint Challenge, you can find that on my previous video. I wasn't sure how to link things in here because I'm not really familiar with YouTube Lives too much, but I am running a 5-day Word Sprint Challenge that starts tomorrow. You can find it over my blog too. So it's heartbreathings.com/blog, and it'll be on that first or most recent post. Hey, Kara. So yeah, it's really fun to sprint. So if you've been interested in learning more about like what's your ideal sprinting time, this is going to be just a free 5-day challenge to hopefully, get your writing going this week. And then also to, find your ideal sprinting time. It's really going to be fun. There's already over, I think, almost 300 people already enrolled in the challenge, and there's almost 200, I think, in the Facebook group. And I'm going to be going live in the Facebook group throughout the week. There's a free download involved. There's going to be freebies and giveaways, so I hope you'll join. But part of what I wanted to talk about today is just my personal productivity journey. And part of this journey for me has been, things like this. So it's Sunday. I woke up today and I had, regardless of it being Sunday, a really big to-do list. So you guys know, if you've watched my channel before, you've seen that I have a daily to-do list in my Heart Breathings planner. And so even though it's Sunday, and I don't always work on Sundays because I've got the Word Sprint Challenge tomorrow, and I've got the the editing video, and my HB90 course just launched today. I'm working on launching my Publish and Thrive self-publishing course, and we're moving in a week. So there's a lot of things going on right now, and it's really busy. So even though it's Sunday, I'm working, and I woke up with this big to-do list, and it just kind of occurred to me as I was working my way through it that I'm working a little bit too hard today. And something that I've learned throughout my productivity journey is that you can't do it all the time. And if you're like me and you're a go-getter and you're a goal setter and you like to have, big things that you do with your life, and you've got these big plans, then you definitely understand what I mean by working on a Sunday or a Saturday or working too hard. But what happened to me, this was probably around 2016, like late 2016, was that I hit a wall. And it wasn't that my career wasn't going well or that money wasn't coming in or that things weren't happy in my life. Like at the time I was living in what I would have called my dream house, even though I didn't love the city I was living in. I had a son, I had a husband, I had all these things that I really had wanted for a long time. And in fact, it wasn't that my career wasn't going well, it was the opposite. I actually had, towards the end of 2016, my 2 biggest financial months. And if you've been in my channel for a while, you might have heard me talk about this before. But I had my 2 biggest months. And instead of it making me extremely happy, like encouraged and motivated to keep working harder, I completely hit a wall, and it was like one of the most depressed and struggling times of my life. And I know that some people will hear that and be like, oh, whiny baby, like poor you, you had some big months. But I'm here to tell you that no matter what dreams you have in the future, hitting that milestone that you set for yourself, be it income or a certain house you want to buy or a car you want to buy or a bag you want to buy, or all those types of things that you might be wanting in your life, those types of milestones are not going to make you happy. Hey John, how are you? So it was a big lesson, and if I could have learned that earlier on, I would have been so much more productive. But what I understood at that point was I was all hustle. I was working as hard as I could, pushing myself to a limit, working 12, 13-hour days sometimes. I was living what I thought was my dream life, but I was constantly comparing myself to other people. I was constantly like changing what I thought was my ideal life, like what I wanted, because I was watching other people and I was going, oh, well, she just hit this list. Maybe I should be trying to hit that list. Or this other person's now writing this type of urban fantasy and they're making all this money and maybe I should do that too. And I wasn't very grounded in my own life and my own goals. And so that's what led to the depression. Was I hit these big months, but I realized I was burned out, I was exhausted, I wasn't enjoying my writing anymore, and I wasn't sure that I could keep it up. I hit this point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was really, really not only life changing, but eye opening for me, because even though I was being productive, really, even though I was being super busy all the time, I wasn't necessarily being productive. And I most certainly wasn't being productive in the things that would lead me to what truly is my ideal life. And Claire right here just said sometimes you need a little break, and that's true too. But it's not always just about needing a break. Sometimes it's about you need to step back and you need to understand what it is you really want out of your life, so that instead of just being busy all the time and trying to like run this rat race where you're comparing yourself to everybody else and you're trying to create the life that you think other people want you to have, or that makes you look a certain way, or that you think you should have because your mom told you that's who you should be, or because everybody says, well, all writers want this, so you should want that too. Instead of going for any of that other stuff, sometimes you need to step back, clear the slate, and really go deeper and think, what is it I really want for my life? Not what do other people want, what are other people achieving, what are other people doing, but what do I want? And especially with social media and even YouTube and all of that type of stuff, it's kind of like, whose life do you want? Your life, your ideal life, or do you want somebody else's ideal life? So Jessica just said you're spending so much time striving for a goal that when you finally reach it, you're standing there like, what now? So it's so true. It's like, especially if the goal that you're working toward is not even really aligned with who you really wanted to be, because you never even took the time to think about yourself. You were just thinking about, how can I keep up with everybody else? And sometimes that can be a difficult thing to even how to word this. It can be a difficult thing to even admit, because I was ashamed of the fact sometimes that I wanted what other people had. And I just didn't know how to really dive deep into what I really wanted with my life. And so I was just constantly trying to like keep up with my neighbor. Like, how can I be a better bestseller? How can I make more money? How can I hustle? And there's a lot of writers in the indie world in particular who will tell you how to make more money, how to hustle harder, how to take out more Facebook ads, how to write these books as fast as you possibly can and slam the words on the page, 5,000 words a day and 10,000 words a day. And there's this like glorification of being super busy. And I'm not saying that you can't get a lot done that way, or that you can't make a lot of money that way. But what I am saying is you have to know why you're doing it. Like, why do you want to make so much money? Why do you want to have this type of career? Is it just because somebody else told you? Or I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I live on the road, like right next to the beach. So we get a lot of loud motorcycles like heading out to the beach. So hopefully you guys can't hear that, but Um, there's a lot of people that will tell you, to hustle that way. But if we don't take a step back and really think about what we want and what our ideal life is, you're going to end up like I was 2, 3 years ago, which was basically sitting on my couch, watching a lot of TV, especially Investigation Discovery, eating a lot of bad food, binge eating, binge watching. And I was just really, really struggling. Hi, Maya. Glad you're here. It's just really tough when you work your butt off to hit certain productivity goals or certain milestones, and then you hit it and you realize that's not even really what I wanted, or I'm not suddenly a different person. Hey, Christina, there's another one of my good sprinting buddies, you guys. I'm not a different person just because I hit this milestone. Like somehow we think, oh, if I could just make 6 figures writing, it's going to make me a different person. But it doesn't actually make you a different person. It just gives you more money or more opportunity, sure. But it doesn't mean that suddenly your life is fixed and you're happy and everything's good just because you're making 6 figures or because you're now a professional author or whatever. So part of my productivity journey was to take a step back and say, okay, what is it I really want out of my life? And how do I go about getting it? And how do I go about stopping this rat race of looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to catch up with everyone else and trying to look a certain way to other people on social media or whatever? And how do I really become the happy person I want to be? And so over the course of the next couple of years, I worked into this like program of 90 days, planning 90 days at a time. And I found a program that I took online. It's Todd Herman's 90-day year. And it was really good. It was really eye-opening, taught me a lot about goal setting and that sort of thing, but it wasn't quite exactly the program that I needed. Like it was good as it was, but it was not exactly what I wanted. And what I wanted was peace and ease. I wanted to start getting everything that I was going to get done, leading me towards my ideal life and having some kind of purpose instead of feeling like I was just constantly adding things to my to-do list. Because part of that like rock bottom moment for me in 2016 was about the fact that I was so busy. I felt like I had so much on my to-do list that it just felt like this huge weight weighing me down every minute. I would get up every single morning and I would feel so overwhelmed by how many things I felt like I needed to do, and that I would end every day feeling like a failure because I wasn't getting those things done. And it's just one of those things when you're an entrepreneur or when you have writing goals or you have these kind of goals, especially if you're working a full-time job and you have these other goals, like you're trying to be a writer and you want to be a full-time writer, or you have, other types of side jobs that you want to do or some kind of art you want to pursue, you have to really learn to manage your time. But when there's so much information available online about how to do all of it, you could get caught up in the like watching YouTube channels and trying to figure out all the to-dos, and then you feel like you've got all this stuff on your list, and eventually for a lot of us it makes us feel like we're failures. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt that way from having just so much to do and feeling like you're so behind that it makes you feel like a failure, because that's where I was 100% back in 2016, early 2017. And I knew something had to change, but I didn't want to give up my goals. So thank you so much, Celestial Writer, for sharing that you do, because I think that it's such a big thing that we don't talk about. We talk about the hustle. We talk about how much we have to get done. We talk about how amazing it is to get it all done, to like be the busy person, and even me, like I just started this whole entire video by talking about how many things were on my to-do list, and look at me working on a Sunday. But the thing is, you have to understand that once you get so many things on your to-do list and it becomes this like amorphous blob in your head of like there's so much to do, you're going to find yourself in that place where I was, which is that you've got more to do than you could possibly do in a lifetime. You wake up every day feeling like you're under this rock of like how much there is to do. And then you end every day feeling like you failed because you didn't get it all done and you're nowhere near where you wanted to be. And maybe you pop onto Facebook and you see all these other people who are making your life look like it's not as good because they're achieving all these big things and you're not. And it can be a really depressing cycle, and it can be a really difficult cycle to break out of. And so I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about how I broke out of that. And I'm not perfect because obviously I'm still not getting everything done. I promised you guys a video today about how I organize my edits. It's not going up because I realized I just was putting too much on my list. So I will tell you that what I did was, it was kind of a couple years of journey. But number one, I sat down and I went through everything that I really wanted. I got this book called The Desire Map from Danielle Laporte. And that really got me thinking, how do I want to feel on a daily basis? I definitely don't want to feel like a failure or feel like I'm burned out. So how do I really want to feel? And stop thinking about other people or, the rat race or the hustle or all of that sort of thing. And started thinking instead about how I wanted to feel. Then like I said, I took this course called the 90-Day Year, and I started learning more about how to break my big goals down into smaller projects and tasks, so that instead of it feeling like this huge thing, it felt like, okay, I can do this one thing at a time, one tiny little piece at a time. Every little task has its place. And then I added more because I started learning about Kanban boards and different things like that. And so if you've watched my channel before, you kind of know that I have some of those other productivity tools that have been important to me. But I basically developed a system for myself. And this is what I now call my HB90 system. So I have a planner for it, and now I also have a course. But you guys can probably see a lot of this in my videos and a lot of the free stuff. So I'm trying to read the comments too. Like, this is why I'm not great at live videos. Like, I'm trying to read the comments and keep my train of thought. Monterey says, yes, I cried for over a week a while back when I was transitioning projects. It's okay to melt down and it's okay to stay there. It's not okay to stay there. So it's like an important thing to like know that it's okay to feel the way that you feel. But you're right, it's not okay to stay in that place, because if you stay in that place where you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like a failure, you're never going to achieve your dreams. And then you're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to think, gosh, why did I let that pass me by? But instead of putting all that pressure on ourselves to get it all done right now, what I learned is that if I can focus on like one major goal or up to 3 major goals every quarter, then what happens for me, so a quarter is around 90 days. So we're about to end Q2 of this year and go into Q3, which will be July, August, September of this year. So every 90 days, I sit down and I think about that big to-do list. I have this whole program where I write it down, I brainstorm all of it, and then I prioritize it. So I don't try to do everything. I just say, here's my priority for this 90 days. This is what I'm going to get done. And then I schedule those things out for the 90 days. And I take a realistic look at my time. And that's another big part of this, because I think a lot of times we say, oh, I'm going to get these 3 books done, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. That was like what I was doing this morning. When I wrote my to-do list last night, I wrote down, more stuff really than I had time and energy to do. And so it's still a learning process for me. I'm not perfect at this, but I've gotten better and better and better. So how the process works is I figure out what it is I want to achieve over the next 90 days. What's my focus going to be? And sometimes that means saying, okay, I'm not going to finish 3 full books in 90 days. That's ridiculous. So instead, I'm going to focus on trying to get the rough draft of this one book done, or whatever it is I'm capable of, or whatever it is I have time for. And then I make an effort to schedule that out in a realistic way. And then I break all of those projects down into tasks, like minute little tasks. And then once I have all my projects figured out, I will put them all on my Kanban board. So you guys have seen that in the back of my videos before, if you've watched me before. Obviously, I'm not downstairs because the internet is a little bit wonky down there in my office, but you guys are going to get a brand new view of an office pretty soon anyway, because I'm moving in a week. So a lot of things going on. But that Kanban board, I'm able to take those sticky notes that have every little tiny task that I'm going to get done over this quarter. And every day when I get up, instead of feeling like I have just all this stuff to do and I don't even know how to prioritize it, and I feel totally overwhelmed by like how much there is to do, I can wake up today and go, okay, I've got these 2 things to do. And I know for sure that those 2 things are important to me and that they're going to move me towards my goals. And that's all I have to focus on. So then I get to work, I focus on those 2 things. And then when they're done, I move them down the Kanban board and they're done. And like today, some days like today, I may have like more than I really had energy to do. But instead of stressing out about, oh, this video didn't get edited, I created an alternate plan. Okay, I'm going to go live and I'm going to chat with you guys for a little bit about, making changes, about setting schedules, about not being perfect, about my productivity journey. And this video I don't have to edit because it's live and it's fine. And then tomorrow I will get up tomorrow and try to do better job editing that video. But I did get a lot of things done. And instead of feeling like every day has more than I can handle, I actually work breaks into my 90 days. So I know that I have, if I needed to take tomorrow off, I could. Wednesday is my son's birthday. I'm basically doing nothing work for that day because I'm going to spend the whole day with him. We've got the whole day mapped out. And I've learned to take the time out that I need to not put too much on my plate anymore and to stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and to think about what's leading me toward my ideal vision. So that's a little bit more of my productivity journey. It took me about a year to a year and a half to come up with this system the way that it is now, to where it's really, really helping me. But because of that system, last year, I got more done in 1 year than I had gotten in the previous 2 or 3 years combined, because instead of waking up every day feeling like the weight of it all was too much, I focused on smaller chunks of time and got like very, very focused about what I was doing every day. And let me know in the comments if you've been somebody who's like procrastinated a lot in your life, because I have been like a habitual procrastinator where I always procrastinated. I would say, oh, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to write 1,000 words today. And then I wouldn't get it done. I'd watch TV, I'd binge eat, I'd do all these things, and I would not get the writing done. And so, yeah, so I'm seeing some people definitely that have done, have had that problem. Queen of procrastination, I hear you. This program has helped me start to cure my procrastination. It's not perfect, but taking things like when you decide what your main focus is, like instead of saying, I'm going to write 3 books, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to work this regular job, I'm going to take this volunteer thing, and you do like 100 different things all at once. It seems like because you've got so much on your plate, you might be like extra motivated to do it. But I have this suspicion that the more we put on our plate that makes it feel impossible, the more we tend to procrastinate, and then we feel perpetually behind because we procrastinated and we've got all these things to do and now we're never going to catch up. And that just leads to this feeling of like depression and like anxiety and just feeling like you're a failure or feeling overwhelming. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people with procrastination. So one of the ways that I started working through it was, instead of putting so much on my plate, I just focused on smaller things, smaller goals, smaller sets of time. I only plan 90 days at a time. I don't try to get a whole 90 days or a whole year worth of stuff on my schedule, because I used to plan out my book release schedule a whole year in advance and I would never, ever, ever even come close to hitting it. Now I just do 90 days at a time, and I'm still not perfect. This year has been a struggle because of the pregnancy, but I'm so much better now than I was, and I know I'm going to get better and better and better. So one of the things that can help you learn to procrastinate less is actually to put less on your plate, because when you have so much overwhelming amount of things to do, it's easy to procrastinate because mentally we already feel tired. So it's just, yeah, so you should do, yeah, you could do that with your writing. You do your homeschool, Peggy says, in 90-day planning, and that works a lot for me. So if you are interested in trying out 90-day planning, there's a few different things that I have for you if you want to kind of see my system. First of all, if you have not checked out my Kanban videos, I don't know how to link stuff on YouTube Live, so you just have to go to my channel and look for them. But I have several Kanban and several like HB90, kind of like how I plan my days for success and stuff like that. Videos that are up that sort of walk you through pieces of my system. So you can start there if you want something totally free. Another thing is I have a planner. It's the HB90 planner. It's on Etsy. I've linked it in all of the descriptions of all my videos, so you can go check that out. Right now there's an undated version of it, but the Q3 version that will start for July that's dated will go up next week, probably on Thursday on Etsy. And then finally today, my HB90 course has actually just launched, and I think I saw a comment come by from a couple of my students here. So Christina says, your HB90 helped me so much. It was so easy to feel behind until I learned the 90-day process. So that's awesome. I'm so glad Christina took that course, but we've had over 200 people now go through the course, and it's been as life-changing for them as it has for me. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, since I didn't get a chance to put that last video up, to just come on and talk about it, since the course did launch today. But it is, yeah, the video will be available after too. You can watch it again. So it'll just go from being live to being just one of the regular videos on my channel. So you can watch it later, Gabriella. So yes, the HB90 course is a 3-day boot camp course, but once you pay for it and you go into the course, you've got access to it for a lifetime. So a lot of the students will go through it with me like every single quarter and go through the process every quarter. But I basically will walk you through the entire process of figuring out what it is your ideal vision for your life is, setting goals that will help you lead you toward that ideal vision, and then breaking everything down into goals, projects, and tasks, and then scheduling them out in a way that feels less overwhelming than what you felt before. And then we will go and do the Kanban boards together and all of that. So it's a pretty intensive 3-day course. There are a couple of live videos. There's a launch, like kickoff call that will go with me that will just be for the members of the course on June 20th. So that's when the course begins, and then it'll run that whole weekend. So I would love to have you join. If you guys want to join, it's open now. I will go ahead and put links. Like I said, I don't know how to do it here on the live video, but there are links to join in my latest video, and I will definitely be talking about it more this week. If you're on my mailing list, you got a link today on how to join it. But I really would love to join it. And I'm not just talking about this like, oh, I'm a salesman and I'm going to sell this course to you. But it's really because this is how I pulled myself out of rock bottom. And what I'm telling you is, I have been where you are. If you're sitting there right now and you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, you procrastinate too much, you're letting years go by and you're not moving towards your dreams, I completely understand. I am not a perfect person. I have been exactly where you are right now, where I feel like I let years go by, where I wasn't really happy. Because I feel like it's a balance. It's not just about how hard can you hustle, how much can you get done, but it's about how can you be happy doing this, and how can you be happy going for your dreams, and not just thinking that you're going to be happy when you hit some milestone later where you have a perfect house, or you're making 6 figures, or you're able to quit your job. How to be happy right now doing what you love and what you want to do, and just like totally loving yourself, loving your life. And every day that you're working towards something, you work toward something that's going to lead you towards that ideal life, and how freeing that is and how powerful that is. So thank you, Melissa. She says it's an amazing, inspirational course. I highly, highly, highly recommend HB90 Bootcamp. It has helped me tremendously in my efforts to complete my writing and life goals. So definitely would love I see you guys talking about dislike. You know what? There are some people that dislike my videos. I feel like every time one video comes up for me, there's someone who dislikes it. So that's fine. People have different viewpoints on what they like and don't like. So maybe some people don't like what I have to say, or maybe they don't want to face what they're going through in their life, and so they don't want to listen to it because they like the hustle. But I'm just here to tell you that eventually, like, you can hustle your way to any life that you want, but you might not be happy there. If you want to learn how to be happy with what you're doing, how to really move towards your ideal life, I encourage you to sign up for the HB90 boot camp, it's $149. If you join my, it's like a little secret. If you join my Word Sprint challenge, there is a coupon at the end of the workbook that you get for free that will give you $10 off the course. Or you can also do a payment plan, which is 3 months of $55 a piece, and you also get $10 off that first payment plan if you use the coupon code in the Word Sprint challenge. If you don't have the money for that, or you just don't want to commit to a course, I totally understand. You can download the planner for $30 that's undated now, or you can wait until Thursday when the Q3 planner goes up. If you sign up for the course, you get the Q3 planner for free. But if you just want to run through the system, but you don't really have the money or the availability to do the course, the full course right now, the planner will help you a lot because it has all those instructions. The planner is $15. I'll probably run a sale on it this week once it launches at Q3, so just kind of keep an eye out for that. Or the $30 planner is the undated one that you can just print over and over and over. Or if you just don't want to invest in any of those things, I have lots of free resources here on YouTube with the Kanban videos and stuff like that. So just check out some of my playlists and see if you can get that. Because if you're sitting in that place where you're feeling overwhelmed, but you're not, like you feel like you're so busy that you're so exhausted, but you're not feeling like you're being productive, like you're not actually moving towards your dreams, then you need to get yourself out of that rut, because you are capable of amazing things in your life. And I want for you to achieve them more than anything. Like you have these big dreams for a reason, and it's seriously my passion to help you get there, whether I'm doing it for free here on YouTube, or whether you work one-on-one with me or in the HB90 bootcamp, however you are most comfortable. I want for you to have that life that you've dreamed of, but to be happy while you're doing it and not feel like you're just, pulling it out of yourself every day, and that you go to bed every night feeling like you're a failure, because I know that you deserve better than that. And I want you to have more than that. So, all right. Are there any questions before I go about the course or the Word Sprint challenge? There's a lot of things. Oh, I think I saw a question come up about the self-publishing course. Blah de blah. Sorry. I know I saw it. These are going by so fast. I'm trying to scroll through. Self-pub course news, Nikki says. Also, will a marketing course be separate or a part of that course? So I do have a self-publishing course coming up. It's called Publish and Thrive. I was hoping to launch that course today too, but again, just too many things on my list. I've bit off more than I can chew. So that will be coming later this week. The sales page is actually already up, but I have to finish writing everything and, all of that sort of stuff. It's just a very busy week for me. But I have a self-publishing course. If you guys are writers and you're either self-publishing and not getting the traction you want, or you're going to be self-publishing soon, this will be a much bigger course than my 3-day boot camp. It's a whole 5-week course. And in that course, we're going to talk about everything from all the stuff you need to get together and get done before you can publish. Do you need a pen name, ISBNs? How do you set up your accounts? Your strategy and your plans for how you're writing your books and where you get your cover art, just all of those details. And then it will take you all the way through actually publishing your book, how to charge, how much you want to charge for it, what your strategy is going to be. And then there's going to be a 2-week module on marketing. And I'll just go ahead and kind of preface that by saying my marketing course stuff is not how to run Facebook ads, how to run AMS ads, and those kinds of things, because I don't typically do those things. I do have a Facebook ad that I've toyed with for a few years, but I don't really spend a lot of money on it, maybe $60 a month. I don't run a lot of ads like that. And you're going to find other people like Mark Dawson and Nick Stevenson that can teach you all about those kinds of ads, David Gaughran, a lot of men, surprisingly, who can teach you a lot about those kinds of things. But that's not my zone of genius, to teach you how to run big ads and spend a lot of money. And I will tell you right now, I make and have been making multiple six figures a year, writing and publishing fiction without running a bunch of ads. And so I'm going to show you my methods for marketing and how I do that without spending a lot of money, because some of those guys that teach marketing, they do spend 10, 20, $30,000 a month on advertising, and most of us just don't have that kind of money to spend to do it. Claire says, do you do it all yourself or do you have a PA? So I have tried several different PAs in the past. My sister-in-law used to work for me, but then she became a nurse, so she didn't. So she did a little bit of work for me. I also had a friend who was doing a few things and still runs, like she'll do a little bit of my marketing stuff. But for the most part, I do it all myself. And I've always kind of been a, how can I say this without being mean to myself? A control freak, I guess you would say. I like it done my way, and I am not very tolerant of like people making mistakes with things that are important to me. So I have a hard time letting go of the control and letting other people do things, but I probably should hire help, but I usually just do it all myself. But my self-publishing course, if you're interested in it, will open later this week. If not this week, by next weekend. The normal price of it, by Raymond, the normal price of it will be $399. So that's like the normal course price, which is actually a lot lower than what a lot of other people charge, because I want to make it more accessible to everyone. But since this is the very first time I'm running this course, and there might be some little, I want some feedback from you guys, and just to say, yay, this is the very first time that I'm doing this course. It's going to be $100 off. So it's only going to be $299 for this round. Or you can do a payment plan, a 3-month payment plan of $105 a month. In addition, though, those of you who have taken my HB90 bootcamp or take it this round will get an additional $50 off. So you guys will get to take it for $249. And I'll tell you for sure that will never, ever, ever be, that's the lowest price it will ever be, probably ever again, because this course has taken me hundreds of hours to put together. And pretty much everything I know about self-publishing. So if you're interested in it, it's a really, really good deal. And I've done the best I can to keep it as low cost as possible, because I know there's a lot of people that charge $1,000 or more for self-publishing courses. And some of those people have sold less books than I have, but they charge a lot because they do, it does take a lot of time to put into these courses. You put hundreds of your hours into those courses, and I really would love for you guys to join it. I'm trying to keep it lower price, but it's definitely gonna be the lowest price you'll ever see it this round. So Dana asked, can we sign up now even though it hasn't started? So yes and no. I think I have a sales page up for it over on teachable.heartbreathings.com, but I don't have like all the information on all the modules and everything ready. So technically you could sign up for it, but wait for next weekend. Sign up for my mailing list, or I'll do another video later next week talking about it. And you'll either get a chance, I'll do a bundle price where you can sign up for both courses, the HB90 and the self-pub course at once, or I'll be sending out coupons and information on that in my email list and talking about it here on YouTube. This is another thing I'm talking about, like progress, not perfection. If I was perfect, it would have all been set up today. It would all be done, but I'm a human being and I'm doing the best I can. And you know what? It's going to be fine, because the course doesn't launch. That course, self-publishing course, doesn't actually launch until July 8th. So we've got about a month before that course launches. And so you have plenty of time to sign up, but you will get the best price possible if you do both courses at once. But yeah, this will be pretty lower price for now. That's your birthday. And don't worry too, if you guys are like, oh, June 20th, when the HB90 goes, I'm going to be away for the weekend, because I know it's summer, but once you're in, you can go through and take that course anytime you want. So you sign up. You don't have to go through it at the same time everybody else. You can do it the following week or whatever. Same thing with the self-publishing course. We're going to go through it as a class for 5 weeks. And happy birthday, Claire, in July. We'll go through the class together, 5 weeks. But once you're paid, even if you've got a vacation or something that takes your time away, you'll still have access to the course. So you'll have lifetime access, even if it gets updated and that sort of thing. So, all right, are there any other questions? If not, I'm gonna let you guys go, and then I'm going to take the rest of the day off. And well, kind of, I'm gonna probably go pack, because we get the keys to our new house on Saturday next week. And then we're probably gonna go out to dinner and just kind of enjoy some nice weather. So yeah, I didn't get everything done on my to-do list today, and that's totally okay. Like a couple years ago, that would have stressed me out to the max, and I would have cried, and I would have. My husband has talked about how important it is that I've been through this course, because like that I developed this course and went through this system for myself, because I absolutely 2 years ago would have been snapping at him, would have been snapping at my son. I would have been miserable because I'm not getting things done and I'm stressed out. But you guys can see me. It's like, okay, so not everything got done. I'm okay with that because I know I have a plan and I know I'm in control. And that's really part of what I would like to help you guys take control of your own life. So Natalie says, I absolutely can't wait for your tips once you have a baby. I have an 18-month-old and a 4-year-old, and life is crazy. I totally understand that. It's like my son is going to be 7. So I remember how things were back then, but I also was just doing the writing. I wasn't like also doing a YouTube channel and courses for authors and a planner and all this other stuff. So it's going to be a learning experience for me too. I imagine my Q4 of this year is going to be very chill, although I am speaking at the NINC conference and I'll be taking my little 1-month-old baby with me. I'm a featured speaker this year at NINC in Florida, if you guys get a chance to go to that conference, if you're a part of that writers organization. But other than that, I'm going to be taking it pretty chill over Q3 this year and then Q4. But I will definitely be letting you guys know, probably doing some vlogs of like a day in the life as a writer with a newborn and that sort of thing, and giving you guys some tips on how to, get writing done even with little kids at home, because I know it's hard. Especially when you're publishing, you've got more to do. So Celestial Writer says, I have a question. I have a short story that my aunt read and said it was good enough to turn into a children's book. Where do I start and where can I find your course again? So the course will be at publishandthrive.com, but it's not actually up yet. So just wait for the rest of like, if you subscribe to my channel now, I will have more information coming about that. And if you go to any of my other videos, there will be a link in the description of how to sign up for my newsletter list, and that's where I'll send the information out first. But it's exciting that you have something finished, like a story that would be a good children's book. So really the place to start, if you've got the book, is you need to start looking for an illustrator probably. I've never written children's books for myself, but I do have a friend that is about to actually publish her first children's book, and she started with taking her story and breaking it into, here's what each page is going to say, because when you do the children's book, you really just need that short story, but you need to make sure you know what every page of the book has to say specifically, like which part of the story goes on separate pages. And then she started looking for an illustrator, and she hired someone who was able to illustrate the pages according to how she wanted it. And now she's going to self-publish it. And Amazon, I know for sure, as well as I believe Apple, has some pretty good tools for publishing books with images in them. So those are probably the first 2 places I would start looking at. But we'll talk more about that in the course. And if you have more specific information, or questions, you can message me at sarah@heartbreathings.com, and I will help you, at least point you in the right direction. Yes, Christina, one of these days we have to meet. We need to have a writing retreat for sure. SC Perry says, do you have access to HB90 for all quarters? So if you sign up for Q3, you will get the Q3 planner will be part of it, but you will have access to the course to retake it every single quarter. You just won't get the free planner every time, but you will get the course itself. So like a lot of people who took it and signed up for Q1 are going through it again. They went through it again at Q2 and again at Q3. So you will have access to it every single quarter. And I'm actually planning to like re-record all the videos and overhaul the whole system and have like maybe just a little bit more videos and stuff like that at the end of this year. So you will get access to the course, for a lifetime. You will have it for every quarter from now on, for always. And in addition to just the planner and the course itself, you also get a Facebook group, and that has been a really great place. And you get support from me every single week on what's on your tasks, what's on your to-do list, little pep talks, and place to hold you accountable and stuff like that. So there's a lot of personal touch there, even though you're just technically paying for it once. You get kind of lifetime access and lifetime support. So hopefully that answers your questions. And yes, writing retreat, we'll have to do, maybe we should plan an HB90 or a Heart Breathings writers retreat somewhere. That would be super fun. Where should we go? Well, maybe you guys could all start and just come here to Charleston. That would be really fun. I should plan something like that for after the baby's born. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Sunday. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who showed up. And if you're interested in the HB90 course, it is open for enrollment now. And I wish I had a link for you, but you can go to my website and I will put up, I'll go right now and just put up a quick link to the course over on my website at heartbreathings.com. And I would love to have you guys sign up. And that editing video that I promised you on how I organize my edits, which is the very last video in the series, will be up either tomorrow or Tuesday. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.